Welcome to the RodSquad Women's Fitness RodCast with Rod Cortizo, who's been helping women transform their health and figure for over 20 years. Here, you'll get easy to implement, realistic, and sustainable changes you can make to improve your health and fitness and make the change permanent. This is for women who want to be their best, the fittest, strongest, and leanest at any age. Enjoy! Yay! Welcome to our very first podcast episode. This is really a dream come true for me because being a podcast listener has quite literally changed my life. I first started listening to podcasts back in 2014, I think. And at first it was just for entertainment, but then I stumbled across more and more thought leaders in areas of my life where I've been focused on growth. And what I've learned on podcasts has transformed our business and helped me improve as a person. Totally, I've improved as an individual. So that's why I'm so passionate about teaching our audience through this platform. The other thing is that Rod and I are very busy. We have 3 kids at home, including 2 under 2, which is a full-time job in itself. But we're also very busy running our business and working with clients both virtually and in person. And I know that a lot of our ladies are like that too. You're busy moms, you might own a business or have a full-time career. So podcasts are really the easiest way to consume information for a lot of us. If you know anything about RodSquad, you know that RodSquad is famous for transformations, turning average moms with a mom pooch, flabby arms, and a saggy butt into super slim, toned-up women with 8-pack abs. And Rod is quite literally the transformation king. We've had women over the years driving hours coming from all over the state to train with him, even just in a group setting, because that's how in demand and popular and effective and incredible his programs have been. So, of course, when thinking about the topic for our very first podcast episode, I could think of nothing better than how to kickstart your own transformation. So, you heard me right. This is the transformation episode. We're going to cover exactly what you need to do if you want to build the body of your dreams. And the steps we lay out might surprise you a little bit because what you need to do is likely different than what you've been told in the past. And newsflash, the steps you need to take are probably simpler than you think. I want to make sure that we're on the same page when we talk about your transformation, because when we say transformation, it doesn't matter what your starting point is, okay? It doesn't matter if you have 100 pounds to lose. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter if you've had prior injuries or if you've tried 10 different programs in the past and failed. What we teach works for absolutely everyone, and the end result can be mind-blowing. I'm talking about sexy shoulders, toned up arms that never jiggle and look great in a tank top, a firm lifted butt, and slim, strong legs that look fantastic in short shorts. I'm talking about 8-pack abs if that's what you're going for, and wearing clothes that you never imagined were even possible for you. If you don't believe me, look at our website to see the kind of transformations that our program has created in the past. People ask us all the time if those photos are even real and if they're really from our clients, and they are. So here's the thing. The very first step in any kind of transformation is believing that it's really possible for you. I'm speaking from experience because I grew up in a family where being unhappy with your figure was just completely normal. And it's really important for me to point out that for us as women, especially, we're told that it's normal to have kids, get older, get flabbier, saggier, and that's just the way things are. But I have come to find out through RodSquad that this is complete and utter crap. It's not true. We don't have to buy into that, and that life doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to accept being unhappy in our own skin. So, here is what I have to say to you today. If I can build my best body ever after having 2 babies in 2 years, and if our other clients can get in such insane shape after raising kids and being in their 40s, 50s, and 60s, then you, yes, you, can do it too. So now, without further ado, I'd like to welcome our very first podcast guest, the founder of RodSquad, the transformation king himself, my husband, Rod.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here, and I just can't believe this is our first podcast and we're making it happen. We've been
Yes.
talking about it for such a long time, and then we finally did it.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. So, Rod, you have helped so many women, like probably thousands by now of women over the years, transform their bodies and in turn transform their entire lives. And so it's only fitting that for our first episode, we talk about your biggest tips on how people can start their transformation from home, from wherever they are in the world on their own without having to see you in person. What are the biggest things that they can implement right away to get started?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. But yes, pretty much believe that the new person or the person you want to be or the figure you want to achieve or the way you want to feel about your health and the way you look. It can be and it will be possible. And all you need to do is just follow the steps and apply everything in in a way that it's doable for the long run. You need to make sure that you're doing something that can be sustained. And I've worked for so many years trying to simplify this process and making it in a way that is the most doable for most people, and so it's not a burden. You don't want this new lifestyle you're looking for to get into to be something that's too hard to maintain or too hard to achieve. You want to make sure that it is something that you can do for the rest of your life, and that is one of the biggest tips that I uh, I suggest people. I have so many people that come up to me with so eager, so hungry for a change, and they're just basically willing to do everything and go all out. And I just have to make sure that I tone it down and I make it simpler and that I don't make it too radical of a change because I just sometimes feel like most people can't keep it up. I'd rather build something that is gradual and have it them being able to be successful a step at a time instead of this whole life change, which it is life changing experience when you transform your figure and you feel better because you're impacting your health and everything. So your body will talk to you. Well, you feel much better, but I just believe that you need to be able to see yourself in the future doing and sticking to what you're doing right now. And if you don't, that is a red flag.
Yes, very good. Okay, so that kind of opens the door to two different things that I want to bring up that you said. One is you're talking about it has to be something that you can stick with that is like sustainable long term, which makes me think we definitely need to talk about the type of exercise because how many times over the years have you seen somebody that's like, oh, I need to lose X number of pounds, so I'm going to start running every day and I'm going to start doing HIIT training. And like they go from being a total couch potato to wanting to do that every day. And then what happens? They just give up, right?
Well, yeah, they give up because you can't keep that pace. It goes back to what I was saying just before.
Yeah.
You'll have to do something at a pace that is sustainable, and going from 0 to 100,
Hmm.
uh, bad things are going to happen. You're going to resent because you're just going to be suffering. There was no period of adaptation. You're going from nothing to a lot, and then plus you might get hurt, and once you get hurt and because you're not used to it, and then you have a setback, and then you have to take 5 steps back, and now you're behind the ball. So yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. It has to be sustainable, and people who go all out with the workout is a sure sign for the most part that they will not succeed, or if it's just going to be a temporary weight loss or improvement in their figure and in their health, because you just can't sustain. You just got to stick to the basics. It has to be realistic. It has to be doable to be done.
Hmm. Yes, he says that all the time. If it's not doable, it won't get done. He even tells me that.
Yes, if it's not doable, don't even bother. If it's something that you're struggling too much, you're starving yourself, you're eating too few calories, or you overexercise, and now you're doing an exercise that you hate. Like, you're not a runner, now you're running. You're never done, you just did a yoga here and there. Now you're doing boot camp and hit training, and like, this is just stop the madness, and let's stick to the basics, and make it work, and be patient. It is going to happen. You just need to be doing the right things, and enjoy the small victories. Enjoy the small victories and look out for them, because they're coming. But you just have to be realistic here.
Yeah, that's the second thing I was going to bring up from what you said, which is the timeline. People expecting overnight results can be such a problem, right? You have to kind of slow your roll and have a realistic timeline for when you can expect this transformation to happen, right?
Yes, exactly. But good luck explaining that to most people. They
Yes.
do not want to hear that. They want it here and now, and they don't care whatever it takes for them to get to their desired goal. And they don't want to listen to that. But
Yeah.
the people who do listen, they're going to be the most successful, because they're going to be going, again, I'm going back to the same thing I opened up with. Sticking to something that is doable, because if you're expecting too much of a weight loss, or too much a fast transformation, I mean, trust me, what I'm going to suggest is going to be the fastest possible that you'll be able to sustain. This is very important.
Yeah, no yo-yo
Yes,
dieting, no losing weight and then gaining it all back.
because anyone can lose a ton of weight and fast, and but they'll gain it all back, because the way they went about it is just not. Again, I hate to keep saying the same words. It's not sustainable. You have to see it as sustainable. You do not lose so much fat. You do not lose fat at such a quick speed, and expect to keep it off. It's just not possible. So yeah, just have to be patient and do the right thing, and look out for the small but steady. You want steady improvement. You need to look. I say that word a lot. I say a lot of words a lot. Steady wins the race, and need to stick to something that will allow you to maintain or gain at a pace that is productive.
Yeah, I think that's a big difference between the RodSquad program and every other program that I tried before I found RodSquad, and every other program that most people try, which is every fitness professional out there knows that everybody craves overnight results, right? We all want to be told that we're going to start this new program, and 4 weeks from now, we're going to be a totally different person. We will have lost 50 pounds. And it's just impossible. It's not healthy. It's not sustainable. The faster you lose weight, this is what Rod says, the faster you lose, the faster you gain it back. And he's saying that because he's seen that 1,000 times over the years, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And the programs and trainers and experts, so-called influencers and all that, they are preying on what you want to hear.
Yeah.
They're telling you what sounds good to you. They're not telling you what you need to hear. I tell people what they need to hear, because I want them to be successful. Our whole business is designed to finally lead people to take over of their figure and their body and their health for once and for all. This is not a temporary fix. This is forever fix. It's the forever fix. It's not for a little trend, but guess what? They sell a lot of those programs and these people to get to be famous, and people are listening to them because they're playing to what they want to hear. Stop, everyone. If you're home right now, if you're wherever you are and you're listening to this, stop. When it sounds too good to be true, It might just be. So be careful with that. Be careful with what you want. And you don't. There is a way to lose fast weight. Yes, there is a way to drop a lot of weight very fast, but that's a weight that you can't sustain at that pace, and that's a weight that you'll eventually gain it back, especially water. There's so many diets that you deprive yourself of certain nutrients that basically just makes you lose water weight, and you go on a scale and you think you're doing fantastic. And then you're like, oh my gosh, I just dropped 5 pounds. I dropped 7, 15, 20, 30 pounds in a couple weeks. And I'm like, oh, this is the best thing ever. No, it's not. You're losing water weight, and you're going to gain it all back. And you're going to be even more frustrated than before. And now you're going to lose muscle mass, muscle tone, which helps you shape up and burn even more fat because you went about it the wrong way. You bought into what you wanted to hear. So be careful.
Yeah, a lot of women are afraid of muscle, but newsflash, ladies, muscle tone is what makes us look good naked.
Oh yeah, that's what shapes you. It is the organ of youth, if you say it that way. It's a point of reference of youth because we're all losing muscle tone as we age, and whatever you do to preserve it, or even better, increase it, the better you are at burning fat and shaping and looking younger and stronger, more athletic, just better all around.
Yeah. Not to mention what it does for our frame of mind. But okay, so basically I think you just outlined like step number 1 is that we need to set realistic expectations. Don't expect overnight results when it comes time for your transformation, and just know that it's possible for you, that whatever you have set in your mind that you want to look good in a bikini, even if you have 100 pounds to lose, this is possible. We know because we've seen hundreds of women do it before you. And I'm one of those women, by the way.
Go ahead, Kate.
Yeah. Well, when I first met Rod and we were just dating, literally, I barely knew him. And so I was thinking that I was going on a date with just another average personal trainer. Little did I know, because next thing, he's showing me a photo album of clients of his that had these like jaw-dropping, unreal transformations, like women that have had a couple of kids already. They're in their late 40s and they are just like average looking moms. And then all of a sudden they're having 8-pack abs and doing a photo shoot in a bikini. I was like flabbergasted. And long story short, that's a perfect example of once you believe something's possible for you. I saw that and then I was like, oh my gosh, if these women can do this, why can't I? And for the first time in my life, my eyes were open to the fact that I didn't have to accept being unhappy with my body like so many women in my family had done before me. So anyway, your mindset around what is possible is very important. And so that is basically step number 1 in your transformation. And then step number 2, he kind of touched on, I think, is about the exercise, that you need to do the right type of exercise. And not all exercise is created equal.
Yeah, there are actually some exercises that actually can make you fatter, make you gain more weight.
What?
Oh, yeah, you didn't know that. I don't think I've ever explained it that way. But yeah, some exercises in the sense that if you over-exercise, if you do too much cardio or just about anything, you're just going to go in too much of a calorie deficit. And what it does, it just makes you binge. And now, when it's time to binge, you're going to go above and beyond because that's what your body's doing. Growling, it's coming out and scratching your face and punching and kicking and telling you to eat.
Ghrelin is the hunger hormone.
And that's going to make you, it's going to sabotage everything. But you're working out so hard, pushing yourself, but you're getting fatter, really. You do lose a little bit of weight. Yeah, you feel better because you're becoming more conditioned and it improves your circulation. Don't get me wrong, exercise is good all around. No, doesn't matter what the type is. It's better than not. But, that plus not eating enough or the right calories or the right amount, and it's just going to make you go too much into calorie deficit, and then that's it. There's no turning back. And then you get to a point that you just pushed against the wall and you're like, I can't do it. And then you just binge. It will happen. You just have to be careful with it, and you just need to know. It's all that information is very simple. It's just, you just need to learn and just need to know.
Okay, so he's talking about over exercising and overdoing it with intense cardio, high intensity exercises, but what is the best exercise that you recommend?
Well, I can't deny it, but I brought up cardio. It is really the most effective way for you to lose the fat. Well, let me rephrase this, to burn the fat while you're doing it. But this is not the type of cardio that is advertised, and it's promoted by the great majority of trainers, because they're just trying to sell you something that you want to hear. 15 minutes to a fit body, sexy in 6. You do something for 6 minutes and you're done, and it's your head training and all of that. No, this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a steady state training, which is the MIST. It's the moderate intensity steady state training. That is a steady state that you're able to maintain for more than an hour. Even if you don't do it for the whole hour, even if it's just 20 minutes, it's great. It's the pace that I'm talking about. If you're able to keep a pace that you feel you're working, but you're still able to breathe and not huff and puff like you're dying, that is the most excellent, because that allows you to be fresh enough to come back the very next day and do it again, and then the following day, and do it every day without killing yourself or being oversore the next day. So that is really the most effective way for you to lose, to burn actually, body fat during a workout that helps you use body fat for fuel, for you to be able to maintain that session. So
Yeah.
that would be it. That would be that. And obviously, you have weight training, which it helps support the muscles, and eating the right amount of protein that helps feed the muscle. Yes. And so you don't lose muscle, because it's so important for your metabolism. And metabolism is something that we lose every year that we age. We're shriveling and shriveling down even further. And muscle is where fat gets burned. So that's very important that you preserve the physical location where fat gets burned. You work out, you burn the fat, you eat right. But if you lose the muscle, you lose the physical place where we get to use fat for fuel.
Okay, so when you're talking about MIST, that steady state cardio, you're talking about walking, biking.
I'm talking about a steady state, a type of exercise that you can maintain a certain pace for a certain time. 20 and above. If you can keep something for 20 minutes, even if you just do it for 20 minutes, but you feel like you could go 30, 40, 50, maybe even an hour, that is the pace you want, because your body will tap into body fat percentage. A greater percentage of calories used for that bout will come from fat as opposed to muscle sugar, because your body is setting itself up for a long bout. Even if it's only 20 minutes, your body is going to switch out to preferably using fat. And that is great news for anyone who wants to tone up or just lose weight the right way.
Awesome.
So that means walking, anything you can sustain for a steady pace. It can be riding your bike. It can be walking. My favorite, walking up a treadmill on an incline, rollerblading or kayaking, paddleboarding. It doesn't matter, as long as you're moving multiple body parts together in a rhythmic fashion, so to speak, as a walk. You go 1, 2, 3, and you're going forever like a metronome. That's how your body prefers to use fat fuel that bout.
Okay, awesome. And the strength training, you mentioned that's the most effective for building the body of our dreams, basically.
Well, that's the only way.
Okay, that's the only
That's
way.
the only way. If you want to build, you have to challenge.
Mhm.
Building comes from the challenge, and to maintain too, because as you age every year, I forgot the stats, I should know this by heart, but we do, especially women,
Yeah.
lose pounds of muscle in a decade.
Isn't
And
that
it's,
just unfair for us women?
well, it does happen to men too. It's just that men have certain hormones that
Yeah.
help them maintain muscles longer than women.
Mhm.
But especially for women, yes, they need to train with weights because that's the stimulus to make muscle grow. But you still have to eat right because you need to feed the muscle, right?
Mhm, mhm.
So yeah, eating plenty of protein and the right amount of protein is essential, and certain other nutrients that a lot of popular diets out there promote, such
Okay.
as low carbohydrate diet and vilifying fruits and all that. That worries me, especially for in the long run with osteoporosis and definitely osteopenia, which leads to osteoporosis,
Mhm.
which is something that all women should be concerned.
Yes.
Most women, anyway. The only women who should not be concerned about this are women who are obese
Mhm. Yeah.
because they're doing strength training every single day, getting up on the couch, the toilet, the car, everywhere. They are training their bones too. Weight training goes beyond just looking better. It's healthy. It's something you must do. You must do for you, for feeling better and looking better as well.
Yeah. Well, what happens with strength training that I think a lot of people, by the way, strength training is the same as resistance training, weightlifting. This is what we're talking about, right?
Yes, yeah. Picking up weights.
Yeah.
Picking up weights, lift
Picking up the weights
something.
and putting them down.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, so the thing that happens with strength training that a lot of people don't realize is that it can cause a total change in body composition. So, what that means is you can be 150 pounds and not do strength training and look a certain way. Then, let's say you start strength training, and 3 months, 6 months, a year from now, you can have a total different body composition, look completely different, and still weigh the same. And so, that's why it's worth mentioning that the number on the scale is not always everything because of your body composition, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that's another reason why strength training is just epic for all of us, but especially for women.
Well, if you do have considerable amount of body fat you need to lose, you do want to be conscious of your weight, of course.
Yes.
But this applies more for the slimmer type, the types that, they're just trying to tone up and don't gauge everything from the weight, because if you're already a lighter person and you're gaining muscle, weight, the healthy muscle tone, the scale is not your best friend in that sense.
Yeah.
Which also leads to, I'm not sure if you had that on the list of the things to do for the transformation. It leads to monitoring your progress. And now we can talk about weighing yourself in different ways
Yeah.
to gauge your progress. So yeah,
Yeah.
it tells you some things, not everything. So basically, you need to see a change. How do you see a change? You need to keep an eye to gauge. You have to gauge by looking yourself in the mirror, checking your clothes. Are they fitting different? The waistline getting bigger. I mean, the clothes getting bigger on your waist. You're getting smaller waist, and your thighs getting trimmer on your jeans. You have to look for these things, and then using that alongside weighing yourself. It's very important that you keep track of your progress, and you need to be at a certain pace, a certain comfortable pace. Again, going back to what I was saying in the first, and when we started on this podcast today, is being able to see that change in a sustainable manner without going too quick and getting frustrated later on.
Yeah. Okay. So are there any other big tips? I mean, I know we could talk about this for 10 hours, but what are the biggest takeaways from this conversation? Like, what should they start doing right away today? Obviously, strength training.
Right.
Obviously, steady state cardio, like
Yeah.
walking to burn fat.
Yes.
Um,
Well, let me just, touch upon that a little bit. If you are a person who you are a natural runner and you've been running all your life, or, a walk might not do it, you might want to slow down your run a little bit and maybe run a little longer. But if you have never run, then you should walk. Yeah, of course. And if you already walk, maybe speed walking. If you walking is not the thing, you don't have to run. Go on a treadmill. Do what I like. I love the incline walk. This is the best. I can burn the most amount of calories with the least amount of impact. I do not like impact on the joints. I do not like the jumping and the jarring of the knees and ankles and back. I'm just not a fan. It's not a recipe for longevity. If you don't see yourself doing that 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years later, I don't suggest you're doing it. So everybody can walk. Everybody can walk up. And if you want to make it more difficult, get yourself a treadmill or go to the gym and then use it. That is the secret sauce there for burning fat. As a side note there.
Okay.
Yeah. And of course, gauge yourself. You need to gauge your progress. You have to know what's going on. Do the median weight. Weigh yourself every day and check your clothes a couple times a week. Set aside a pair of jeans or shorts that you don't wear, you just use for gauging your progress, and you put them on every 3-4 days. If you are doing your steady state every day, you should be seeing a difference on a regular basis. And then the weight, the median weight, you weigh yourself 7 days a week. You get rid of the lightest day of the week and the heaviest day of the week. And then you take the 5 days left out of the 7 days and you add them all up and you divide it by 5. That will give you that weekly median weight. And that's what you're going to be recording. And you do the same thing for the next week. And you do the same thing for the following week. This is crucial because not only you get to see your progress, you get to see that you're not losing too much. Because if you're losing too much, you are losing muscle. Or you're just losing water. You're losing too much water that you do not need to be losing. So 0.5 to 1% of your body weight per week of loss is what you need to look for. You do not want to go more than 1 pound of 1% of your total weight per week weight loss. Yeah. That's maybe 1 pound to a maximum 2 pounds of body weight. Even that is too much anyway of pounds per week. Two pounds would be too much. Again, you can lose 20, you can lose 30, but that's going to be water weight if you cut out carbohydrates, because every gram of carbohydrate in your muscle carries 3.7, almost 4 grams of water per gram of carbohydrate. You get rid of carbohydrate, you get rid of water. And that's a quick weight loss, but it's not fat.
Yes, and that's really good for us to be aware of, especially as women when we're going through the month, like depending on our cycle, depending on how much water we drink, our weight is going to fluctuate naturally no matter what we're doing. And so what he's suggesting, that median weight, is really good for us to realize, like, it doesn't matter if you were 3 pounds heavier today. You can even be 3 pounds heavier than you were yesterday. And it doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong or you really gained that much weight. Yeah. It can just be whatever's going on in your body. So that median weight really helps you get a more accurate picture of what's going on and what kind of progress you're making. Yeah. And he also is saying to just keep in mind, don't try to do this too quickly. Let's all keep our expectations at a realistic level and just basically slow and steady wins the race when it comes to this, because we're looking for lasting, lifelong results, not just something quickly that you're going to gain back.
Well, that's something you really need to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
You don't want to lose too quick. But I also had something else I wanted to say about that. But
go ahead.
No, I just escaped me.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, don't worry, because we're going to have a lot more of these episodes and we have so much information to share. It's crazy. We just wanted to get this off the ground with this first episode here.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back to reiterate about what you said. Expect fluctuations in the weight. Sometimes more than 3 pounds, sometimes up to 5 pounds. But that's why you do the medium in that, and you get rid of the heaviest day and the lightest day, and then you add all the 5 days to divide by 5. Yeah, I just wanted to remind you, because it doesn't matter how many times I say that to people. They see their weight, even you. If your weight fluctuates, you freak out. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm not doing well. No, it just happens. If you have a little bit more carbohydrates the night before, the day before, you're going to weigh a little bit more, because again, carbohydrate holds water, but it's just water weight. It's not fat weight. So don't panic. But overall, the trend of the week, you need to see a loss. Yeah. Of that one medium weight per week, and then you compare it to the next week and then the following week, and that's a great way.
Yeah, that's why I think it's worth mentioning too. We have a bunch of free resources that we're offering nowadays on our website, and we also have paid programs, of course, paid transformation programs for clients all over the world. But our signature program is called Legacy, and it's 12 months long, because really that's how long it takes to have a total transformation, at least. Like, I just had 2 babies back to back, 2 babies in 2 years. I have at least a year ahead of me of gains and like getting my body back in order. It takes a long time.
Yes, it does take a long time, but you need to be patient. That's for sure. You have to be patient and expect some struggles, and you just have to stick with it.
Yeah, it's not easy. It doesn't happen overnight. However, it's 1000% worth it, and it's 1000% possible.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. You can expect and actually lose weight and actually change your figure in much less time. But the thing is, are you going to be able to keep it? Are you going to be able to keep it off? It's not just getting there. It's being at your best shape of your life at any time in your life. Yeah. So being able to sustain that new change, so if it's a slow and gradual and consistent improvement, you'll be able to keep it. You'll be able to not only to keep it off and maintain that improvement that you made, but you're going to be able to keep improving if there's room for improvement. And the longer you stay at a figure that you're happy with, the more successful you're going to be, and the less chances you have to gain the weight back. So basically, if it's sustainable and you're doing it for the long haul, you will be able to keep it for the long haul, not the short. That's why you said 12 months. But yes, you could transform your body in way less than that. But the problem is, are you going to be able to keep it?
Absolutely. Okay, so wasn't that interesting? As you can tell, Rod is a bit of a mad scientist when it comes to all things fitness and nutrition related. He understands the science behind how the body works, and that's why he's so qualified to tell us exactly how to exercise and how to eat to get the best results possible. As you can probably tell, he's extremely frustrated by where this industry has been headed, because there's an overwhelming amount of misinformation out there, and I know, because I know him, that he just wishes people would take his advice and stop wasting time on all the diet and fitness fads that are floating around out there. Anyway, if you're listening to this in real time, I want to mention that we have a new program starting next week on Monday, May 24th. It's called the 4-Week Boost, and we're really excited about it. As we just very, very clearly explained, a total transformation cannot happen in just 4 weeks, but with Boost, we can set you off well on your way. The 4-Week Boost is designed to burn fat, build muscle, create new habits, and kickstart your transformation. It's open for registration right now, and you can go to rodsquad.com/boost if you want to join the group. If you're listening to this later, don't worry, because Boost will always be available to you, and you just won't be starting with the group that's starting this month. So it's a fantastic way to get started and quite literally get the boost you need to start building the body of your dreams. So you can learn all about the program again at rodsquad.com/boost. I hope you enjoyed this episode and learned something new today. Whatever your goal is, I encourage you to not waste another minute thinking about it and just get started right away. You can do it, sister. Whatever it is, let's get to work. We'll see you back here next week. Bye for now.